Okay, so whoever said 6 first is perfect. That's the least common denominator. Now, what I'm going to try to teach you to do is when you have fractions that are not mixed fractions, I'm going to show you a nice way to do it. Just make one fraction bar. Remember, make one fraction bar. And then under that fraction bar is the common denominator, which is what? So I want everybody to put a 6 there. Now, if I need to be 6 in the denominator, what do I have to multiply the first fraction by? 2, right? So if I multiply the first fraction by 2, that becomes a what? 4, right? So now watch me. I'm going to write a 4 right here. Then I'm going to write minus. Is the second fraction already have the common denominator? Yeah. So all you have to do is multiply that by what? 1, or you can just say, I'm just going to bring down the 5. Come on, guys. This is how I want you to do it from now on for these basic ones. All right, does everybody see that? Now, of course, if you wanted to, you could have written 4 6 minus 5 6, but to me, that was boring. All right. I want you to be able to do it because you've been doing fractions now since probably 4th grade was the introduction. 5th grade, you did a whole unit, and 6th grade, you did a whole unit. And now we're doing it again, but this time we have positives and negatives. All right. So everybody should now be able to look at that and say 4 6 minus 5 6 is what? -1/6. All right. And give yourself a little check if you're good with that. Now, remember, I've been trying to tell you guys who want to do better, nothing's going to change for the next 7-9 weeks. All right. Nothing. So now's the time. If you don't know how I got -1/6, speak up.
So what you did with 2 times 2 that you got 4.
That's right. So what I did was because the 3, because the 3 does not have, or I should say, because these two fractions, the denominators are not the same, I had to make them the same. And do you agree with me? 2/3 is the same as 4 6.
Yeah.
Right? Because you understand 2/3 is the same as 4 6. I now just changed 2/3 to 4 6 because now it has a common denominator and I can add the fractions. Do you understand this? Now, can anybody tell me why we have to get common denominators? Because most kids don't understand why you have to do that. They just do it because their math teacher told them. Tell me.
Because you got to make, like if you do something to the bottom, you got to do it to the top, and the top needs to be regular.
Well, okay. I think that. Well, let me show you what I mean. A physical representation of this, and this might be able to help you. So now remember, I always try to tell everybody I learned fractions using pizzas. All right. So I'm going to have, or I'm going to make 2/3. Right. So everybody's watching me make 2/3. All right. And then I'm going to shade in 2/3. Does everybody understand that represents 2/3, right? Now, the next one I'm going to do is, come on, keep paying attention. You'll understand numbers better if you do. I'm now going to color in what am I making now, guys?
6.
I'm making 6s. All right. So this time I'm going to bubble in 5 6. Now, come on now, everybody listen to me now. This will help you understand numbers, all right? Because most people don't understand why you have to make a common denominator. I have to make a common denominator because look at the slices, guys. Are the slices equal? No, the slices, bless you, the slices are not equal. That's why you can't add and subtract them. Is everybody hearing me? The slices are not equal. That's why you can't subtract them.
If it was 4 6, they would be.
Now, exactly what I was getting ready to say. So what am I going to do? Please listen to what he just said. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come over here. And now you're supposed to see the actual work behind it. Now you can see that 2/3 is the same as what?
4/6.
Hopefully you can see that 2/3 is the same as 4/6. And now if I have 4/6 and I remove 5/6, that means I'm going to have a what? -1/6. All right. So now everybody should understand why you have to get a common denominator. You have to get a common denominator because you're trying to add and subtract things that are unlike. You're not allowed to subtract things unless they're the same. So 1/3 and 1/6 are not equivalent. So you can't subtract them. So what do you have to do? You have to make them equivalent. All right. And once you get a common denominator, now you can add and now you can subtract them. Is everybody good with this? All right. So you should, if you paid attention just now, you should understand fractions a little bit better. All right. Rather than just memorizing a process, you should understand the process a little bit better. All right. Understand the significance of getting a common denominator. All right. Everybody's good with that now. All right. Now I'm going to do a couple more with you, and then we're going to start going around the room. But today is critical because it's harder. All right. There's all kinds of borrowing and all kinds of common denominators. And if you listened yesterday, you should be in good shape. Yes, sir. No. Here we go. So everybody take a look at number 2. All right. Everybody's looking at 9. Everybody's looking at 6. And then what I want everybody to do, because you've been listening, is I want you to put one giant fraction bar. All right. And now because we have one giant fraction bar, everybody should be able to look at 9. Everybody should be able to look at 6 and say, what is a common denominator? Now, I prefer the least common denominator, but if you're like Davis and you chose 54, would you still get a correct answer? Yes, it would just be harder. Now, look, guys, I don't want to talk over people today. I'm really focusing in because fractions is something that most people cannot do, even the adults. All right. It's embarrassing. All right. Everybody should understand fractions. It's not really that difficult. So is it okay to say a common denominator is 54? Yes, it's perfectly fine. And you could do the problem. It just makes the numbers bigger and it makes it harder. So what you want to do is you want to look at the least common denominator, which most of you told me was what? 18. So now everybody's going to put down an 18. And this is how I would like you to proceed. This is how I'd like you to do it. Now that's 18. So now I need everybody to look at the first fraction. I need 9 to be converted to 18. So I have to multiply by 2. So then the numerator of that fraction becomes a what? 10. Thank you. And the numerator of the second fraction, I'm multiplying the second fraction by what? 3. So it'd be 10 minus what? 3. And that's how simple this game is. 7 over 18. 7 over 18. All right. Now what I want to do is, because I appreciate Davis's enthusiasm, we're going to go ahead and make the common denominator 54. All right. We're going to make the common denominator 54. You don't have to. You can just pay attention because I want to show you, all right, how it doesn't matter what denominator you use. All right. If you do the math correct, you'll get the same answer. So we're going to do 54 because that's what he said. So I'm going to choose 54. So I'm going to multiply the first fraction by what? 6. So that would be a 30. I'm going to multiply the second fraction by what? 9. So that second numerator is going to be a what?
9.
9. Right? And then when you subtract 30 minus 9, that's where you're getting the what? 21 over 54. And now you have to reduce by a factor of 3. So if I divide by 3, I end up with 7 over 18. All right. Now, look, today really is no time to daydream, no time to, everybody's got to listen, make sure you know how to do it. If you can do today's, then you can do yesterday's. That's how it is. All right, because today's much harder. All right, so that's number 2. All right, now let's take a quick look at number 3. All right, now everybody make a fraction bar. And then I want everybody on your own quietly to put the common denominator down. And then I'm going to ask Luke to tell me what the common denominator is. What's the common denominator? 20. Some of you put probably what down? 40. Does it matter? No. All right. But we want to put the least. So he is correct. The least is 20. So now I have to multiply the first fraction by 5. So I'm going to get what in the numerator? What kind of 15? Negative 15. And on the second one, I'm going to get what kind of 14? Negative 14. Because of the minus sign, correct? Now, again, I want you to remember minus and negative is about the same thing. All right. So altogether, you have what? Shh. Tell me.
I know.
No, I know you do. Tell me what negative 15 minus 14 is. Now, be careful. You owe your mom 15 and you owe your dad. Yes. What kind of 29? Negative 29 over 20. All right. Now what I'm going to do is we are going to just do number 4 all by yourself. Nope. Do it real quick. All right, everybody's doing number 4. And then we're going to tell you what the answer is. And if you didn't get the answer, then you raise your hand and say, give me some more help. If you get the right answer, then you know how to do common denominators, all right, with just fractions. 30 more seconds. Ten seconds. All right, Miss Vaughn, what did you get?
39 over 40.
Somebody said 39 over 40. I wouldn't jump and say that's the correct answer so quick. Anybody else get 39 over 40? Me. Finley,
Oh,
what'd you get?
40.
All right, so 39 over 40 must be right. She got lucky. 39 out of 40. Yes, sir. Good with that? All right. So listen, now you've had 4 examples here. All right, those should be easy. All right. Now number 5. Ooh, why is number 5 a little bit harder? Because there's 3 fractions. Wyatt, tell me what the common denominator is. You are amazing. Come on now. Everybody's got to get this. Common denominator is 20. So I put 1 fraction bar. All right. Now, what do I multiply the first fraction by? Yep. So I get what kind of 4? Good. What do I multiply the second fraction by? So what do I get? What kind of 15? Shh. No, don't. Hey, don't listen to him. He's always talking and always getting everything wrong. So don't listen to him. So multiply by what again? How much?
No, wait, multiply by 5.
And what do you get?
15.
What kind of 15? What kind of 15? Negative 15. And finally, yes, sir. Positive or negative? Yes. All right. So give me a final answer on that. What are you thinking? Now, look, here's what I want you to tell me. All right, because some of you are still having a little bit of trouble with your positives and negatives, so let's talk about it. What? Come on. 14 minus 4 is what? 10 minus 15. There you go. Right, you didn't even have to think too much about it. Come on. -5 over 20. And then, of course, everybody has to reduce -5 over 20. Tell us. Yeah, -1 over 4. Anybody got a problem with -1/4? Everybody's good with this? What?
Since there was.
Listen to me. We don't care how it's wrong. We don't. What I need you to look up here, and I want you to tell me what you're not understanding. How did you?
I was trying to do that.
No, but look, -4 minus 15 plus 14 is -5. What are you getting?
No, I got the same answer, but, well, I just like thought that was a minus sign, not a negative.
Minus and negative, we already said, are the same thing. Right? If I say x minus 7 and I erase the x, it's still what?
-7.
Yes, still -7. Negative and minus are the same thing. All right, negative and minus are the same thing. You with me?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, 6, homework. Everybody put a star by number 6. But what is the common denominator? 24. All right. Now, this is kind of embarrassing. Number 7. Everybody should be able to look at number 7 and just say, obviously, the answer is what? I don't want to hear 19 over 3. I just want you to be able to look at that and say it is. You have 7 pizzas. You eat 2/3 of one. How much pizza is left? 6 and 1/3. I never understood that. It's just 6 and 1/3, right? I have 7 pizzas. Come on, this is how I want you to think about it. Duplicate. Here we go. Don't worry, guys. Come on. You were out there playing before. We're good. It doesn't, I don't care. I'm focused on math and I'm focusing on trying to teach you fractions. I don't care if there's whatever going on out there. It doesn't bother me. All right, I'm locked in right here. I have 7 pizzas. I eat 2/3 of one. So I'm now going to chow down. All right, I come over here and I cut my pizza into thirds and I eat 2 of them. So this guy is gone and this guy is gone. So you mean to tell me you don't know how much pizza is left? How many whole pizzas is left? 6. And then what part is left?
1/3.
That's how simple that is. There should be no thought process here. You shouldn't say 7 over 1 and make that 21 over 3 and 21 minus 2, 19/3, and then convert it back to mix. No, everybody should be able to look at a whole number minus a fraction and say, that's easy. I have 7 pizzas. I eat 2/3 of one. That means I have 6 and 1/3 left. Is everybody agreeing with me? Now, come on. This is a hard problem for most people. I don't know why, but everybody's just going to say it's 6 and 1/3. All right. Anybody have any problems seeing or visualizing that 6 and 1/3? All right. Hopefully that's good for you. All right. Now, finally, we got some problems. All right. Now we have whole numbers, or we should say mixed fractions. All right. Now, my recommendation on mixed fraction is just stack them on top of each other, please. So I'm going to put a 5/6 here, put a plus sign, do this over here. All right. I don't like to look at this right here. So, all right, is everybody with me?
Yes.
All right, so what in fact is the common denominator?
60.
Somebody else?
30.
30. The common denominator is 30. So please make sure you stack them on top of each other. All right, make sure you stack them on top of each other. All right, now I want a common denominator. Now we are smart. We don't have to make a whole lot of room here. All right, you told me the common denominator was 30 and 30. So what am I multiplying the first fraction by? What I'm multiply the first fraction by is 3. So that's going to be a what? 9 over 30. What am I multiplying the bottom fraction by? 5, which makes it a what? Everybody happy with that? 25/30. Is everybody good?
Yeah.
Now I'm adding the whole numbers. When I add the whole numbers, I get a what? 4. When I add the fractions, I get 34 over 30. Now the annoying part is I have to reduce, simplify. All right, so 34 over 30 I can divide by what? 2. So now I want everybody to put that's 4n 17 over 15. All right, I'm still not done now because I can't have mixed and improper. So 17/15 is how much? What is that? Say it. You're amazing. So altogether, my answer is 5 and 2/15. Now remember, those of you guys who are trying to get better, now's your time to say, hey man, what is the guy talking about? About what? I don't understand that question. So you were following along with me. Did you get 17/15? Do you understand that? Okay, so then you just don't know how to convert from here to here, correct? Because 15 goes into 17 how many times? How many left over? 2. Oh, well, there's a 15 there. I'm sorry, guys. I was distracted. Right. I'm sorry. You're right. 2/15. I just put down a 5 by accident. So there's the 1 and 2/15, correct? And then that 1 with that 4 makes a total of how much? 5. All right, sorry about that. There was a 15 there. He said it, I just didn't write it. What?
Did not change the 4 and 2
No, it has to be done like this, guys. There's no alternative. What?
I don't get how you just went from 9 to 30 to 25 to 30.
I multiplied by 5. Right? This was multiplied by 5. This was multiplied by 5. That's how it's 25/30. Right? This guy was multiplied by 3, multiplied by 3.
Well, then how'd you get the 5?
So that
Why do you know how to multiply?
because you said the common denominator was 30, right?
Oh, yeah.
So from 30, that tells you what to multiply the 10 by to get to 30.
Okay.
All right, that's good. Come on now. Everybody should be asking. Everybody should be asking. Trust me, it's getting harder. All right, here we go. Let's knock out number 9. Oh, this is another problem of mine. It just bothers me that people don't know this answer. Everybody should be able to look at this and just say, obvious answer is what? Nope. I wrote the answer.
-5 and 5 months.
Yeah. How is that? It's like saying this. What's 3 plus 1/2? What's 3 plus 1/2?
3 and 1/2.
3 and 1/2. Right? They're both negative. Because they're both negative, it's just -5 and 5/9. Come on now, everybody. I like that. Come on now. Everybody know that now. Right? You're just putting a whole number and a fraction together. All right, if they have the same sign.
Okay.
All right. You owe 5/9 and you owe 5. That means you owe 5 and 5/9.
They have a different sign.
That we already did that one. All right, that was the pizza problem. All right, so now let's look at number 10. Now, is this -3 and 5/6? Definitely not. Thank you, because one is positive and one is negative. So tell me, yes, what kind of 2? Yes, brilliant. Now, look, if you know that, these problems are now what? They're easy. If you're sitting there going, I don't know what the crazy guy's talking about, now speak up. Everybody should look at that and say, that's obviously -2 and 1/6. Now, let me say this, and I'll answer your question, Liv. Are we adding or are we subtracting these two things?
Subtracting.
Subtracting because one is positive and one is. So now you should be saying, okay, because I know I'm subtracting, what's 3 minus 5/6? And we talked about that earlier, right? So that's 2 1/6, except instead of it being positive, it's going to be what? Negative, because there are more negatives than positives. All right, Liv, what? To what? Number 10? 3 pizzas and you eat 5 out of 6. What do you have left? What you're doing is you're asking me this. You're asking me this question. If I said to you 4 minus 6, what does that answer? What's 4 minus 6? Well, -2. Right? It's all right. -2. All right, but the point I'm trying to make is because the signs are different, you're going to have to subtract them, right? So 6 minus 4 is what? 2. But there are more negatives than positives, so we say it's -2. It's the same principle here. We have a negative and we have a positive. So we're going to have to subtract them. But the ultimate answer is going to be what? Negative, because there's more negatives than positives. So now if you have 3 pizzas and you eat 5/6 of one, how much of this pizza is left after you eat 5/6? 1 what? Right, and there's 2 holes left. That's how we got 2 1/6. But the answer is what? -2 1/6, because 3 is bigger. All right? And again, I understand it. All right, I understand. All right, here we go. Let's go. We got to move forward. All right, now I'm on number 11. Now, look at these things right here. Are we going to add them or are we going to subtract them? We're going to subtract. Is the answer going to be positive or is the answer going to be negative? So this is why everybody's going to put a negative right here. All right, my answer is negative, no daydreaming. Now, what number should go on the top?
5 and 7, 8.
Right, because it's bigger. So I put 5 and 7/8 minus 3 and 5/6. Come on, guys. I'm asking for a common denominator with 8 and 6. 24. Let's go. 20.
What about 18?
Shh.
Oh, no, that was
Come on, come on. 24. All right, now what am I multiplying the first fraction by? 3. So that's going to be a, what am I multiplying the second fraction by? So that's going to be a 20, which is nice now. Can I subtract? So the answer is 1/24. Now let's,
2.
and 2. Right? That's why I put a negative on the other side, because I don't want to forget that the answer is what? So it's -2 and 1/24. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. No. All right. We're concentrating together. We're concentrating together. All right. Anybody have any questions with number 11? And don't forget, like I said, it is negative. All right. So everybody knock out. Let's look at 12 real quick. Now, the first thing you ask on all these questions is, do I add them or do I subtract them? You add them because they are both what?
Negative.
They're both negative. So does it matter which one goes in the top now?
No.
No, it doesn't. So is my answer going to be positive or negative? Is my answer going to be positive or negative? We're not parrots. Is the answer going to be positive or negative? Negative. All right. It's negative. Right? It's like -2 minus 9. That's -11. I don't care about the fractions. All right. Now for me, 9 2/3, 2 1/5. What am I doing to those fractions? I am going to add them, but they are both what? Negative. If numbers are both negative, you add them. That's what you should be telling me. So common denominator today is, so everybody's doing a 15 and a 15, multiplying the first fraction by 5. So that becomes a 10. Multiply the second fraction by, and that becomes 3. Now we're adding 13/15. And what else? 11. And don't forget it is negative. Right. negative 11 and 13/15.
Excuse me.
I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy. All right, let's get to work.
I have a question.
Well, we know.
Oh, how, I thought if it has two negatives, it means positive.
I can't help that. I can't help that. Negative times a negative is a positive. We're not multiplying. Shh. Right? -2 and -3 isn't +5. Come on. You got to do numbers. -2 minus 3 is what?
-2 minus 3.
Is what?
-5.
Yes, there's no question then.
Oh,
All right, here we go. We got work to do. Uh-oh. Am I adding or subtracting? Subtracting. What number goes on top?
7.
7 and 1/6 minus 2 and 5/6. This problem was for the people who are not here yesterday. Can I do 1 minus 5? No, I have to do what? Borrow from the 7 and makes it a what? Now, what do I add? Borrow from the 7 and makes it a
6.
6. And now when I do what to the numerator and denominator?
You add.
And that becomes a what?
7.
And that becomes a 7. All right, for those of you guys who were not here yesterday, when you're borrowing, you borrow 1 from the whole number, then you add the numerator and denominator. Now can you subtract? Come on, guys, I'm not interested in playing. 6 minus 2.
4 and 6.
4 and 2, 6. And of course, we never say 2, 6. We just convert that to 4 and 1/3. Now I'm always double checking. Am I positive or am I negative? I am positive because 7 is bigger than 2. All right, so my answer is 4 1/3. Everybody's happy with that? All right, come on, let's go. What number goes on top? Because 5 3/4 is bigger, and I know I'm doing what? Subtracting. So everybody's doing 5 3/4 minus plus 1 5/6. Common denominator.
24.
We could say 24. Better is 12. And don't worry about it. So multiply the top fraction by 3. So I get a
9.
9. Multiply the bottom fraction by and get a, I've got problems. Thank you. Come on. Now look, guys, you're not writing down my answers. You're participating. You're doing it with me. Come on. This is the hard part. All right. This is the hard part. All right. Anybody have any problems with that? So now we are borrowing. All right. So I cross out the 5 and make it a what? 4. Cross out the 9 and make it a 21. Whenever you add 9, you add 10, subtract 1. Now what's 21 minus 10? 11 over 4 minus 1. And I'm just looking back to double check. My answer should be
Negative.
which one?
Negative. Negative.
Don't. What is it, tell him. You said it correctly, but 5 is what?
Negative.
Oh, negative.
There you go. No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I'm glad you're in the game. All right, guys, I really don't want you to be sorry when you make a mistake. I want you to make a mistake so we can correct it. Right now, is everybody understanding why the answer is negative?
Yeah.
All right, come on, let's knock out. Let's have some more fun. All right, now am I adding or subtracting?
Adding.
Why am I adding? Because they're both negative. You got to know the rules. If you have a positive and negative, you're going to do what?
Add. Oh, subtract.
Subtract. See, you're listening to him. You should. Adding and subtracting, or positive and negative, you subtract. Signs are the same, you add. So here we go. We're going to add these. So 13 3/4, 5 1/8. What's common denominator? 8. So the first fraction is 6 over 8. Second fraction is 1/8. Final answer, 18 and 7/8. And now does everybody understand why I say go back? Look at the numbers. Is it positive or negative? Negative. Anybody have any issues?
No.
All right, here we go. Come on. Adding or subtracting? Adding. All right, so here we go. 9 and 1/10. 3 and 7/8. Someone help me with the common denominator. 40. Multiply the first fraction by 4. So I get a 4. Multiply the second fraction by and get a, and then 9 plus 3, 12. 4 plus 35. Wow. All right. You should be feeling better now, or, you know, if you're having trouble, you got to speak up. Davis, you good now?
Yeah.
All right. I figured that. Here we go. Let's check out 17. Am I adding or subtracting? Adding. What's the common denominator?
18.
18. How's what? Well, come on now. You okay or not? What's the common denominator? 6 goes into 18, right?
Oh,
Yeah, no, but the other thing is, could you say like 54?
yeah.
Yeah, it's just the numbers get big. That's all. So that's why you choose the smallest. All right, if you thought it was 36, is it okay for you to put 36? Yeah, it doesn't matter. But the smallest is what I like to go with. 18 and 18. So multiply the first fraction by and get 10. Multiply the second fraction by and get adding or subtracting. So my final answer. All right, guys, I told you this isn't so bad. I don't know what y'all had so much trouble with last year with adding and subtracting fractions. Here we go. Adding or subtracting, kiddos. Adding, common denominator. All right, let's get this taken care of. 6, 6. The first fraction stays what? 5. Is that us?
Yeah.
All right, guys, I want you to try to finish. All right, getting these common denominators. Yeah. No word problems. No word problems. Yeah, it looks like 125-ish. Okay, buddy. Hey, good job, guys. Thank you for your attention. Yeah, finish. That's right.